And he tries to play it cool. He's like, nah, 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 I'm good, I'm good. Look, he's just kind of like, oh, ooh, okay, I'm good. Chill's trying to stare across the cage from Rodriguez, like, nah, bro, I'm gonna put it on you, right? First off, first question: why are you jumping around like that in the intro, bro? I've always wondered that for these for these guys. I'm like, why are you so jumping up and down and doing all that? You're about to fight. You rolled your ankles. Now you look crazy. There's a percentage in my head where I said they're about to call this fight right now. They're both in the cage and they're gonna walk out Chaz Skelly style, right? Like they're gonna call it. What were the odds in your head that that was gonna take place?
Oh, it looked great, Derek. I'd say 60% chance by the way Ortega turned around and looked at his coaches and gives him that look of like, hey, something's wrong right there. I thought it was going to get canceled. I was worried, man. I was hoping it wasn't a knee. Thankfully, it was just a rolled ankle. I wish we had the top view down that they showed, because you can see the toes folded under on Ortega's foot, and then that ankle just rolls real quick. I wonder how big and swollen the ankle is today.
Yeah, bro, that was a full-on rolled ankle, straight up playground style at the basketball courts, right? Like that was nasty. But for him to be able to be like, okay, coming off of all these nasty injuries, and now this happens, and Tracy Cortez is in the crowd watching me right here. I can't lose, bro. At this point, I can't lose. And then that first round happens, AJ, and Ortega gets it put on him. Gift and a curse again. My thought process was Ortega coming off of a layoff. Jiu-jitsu is sick. We know that. But Yair is going to be able to smoke him on the feet before he can initiate the game plan. Well, the problem is here, AJ, is that Brian Ortega is one of the toughest dudes out there. And Rodriguez had him all but finished in the first round. But what do they say? What's the classic phrase right there? If you go for it, you better kill me in there, right? Because if you don't, it's going to be a long night at the office. And Ortega didn't make it a long night at the office, but instead he did the same thing he did in the first fight, AJ. That blows my mind. It's like both of these fighters didn't evolve the way that you wanted to see them evolve. Brian Ortega, the boxing hasn't gotten much crisper since you saw him fight Alexander Volkanovski, for an example. Yair Rodriguez, the takedown defense, where it was almost non-existent right here. But this is what's most important here, AJ, is that we saw in the first fight, Brian Ortega got to the body clinch and he just outmuscled him. I figured you felt his strength this time. You know you can't let him get to the clinch. Well, what does he do? He opens up on the strikes. T-City clinches him in, and it almost like he big brothered him to the cage, dropped him down, and then started the submission work right there, man. Were you surprised to see that? Is it a disappointing feat on the end of Yair Rodriguez, or was this just pure, unadulterated, fantastic performance from Brian Ortega? You got to love it from T-City. What do you think?
I can't take anything away from T-City because we knew that was his game plan. We saw that's how it was enacted in the first fight. It's up to Yair to do something different on this one. But no, I definitely take a lot of, I guess, unfortunateness or upsetness from the Yair camp because, yeah, you expected him to go in and do this. And you expected Yair to be able to see this thing happening and know to avoid it and know to not go to the ground or not get locked up in the clinch. And sure enough, it happens anyway, man. All credit to Brian Ortega for doing that. Because really, especially at, like you said, after that first round, after taking a whooping, after having all the cards stacked against you, he comes back and shows that true grit. You got to love it. You got to respect it. It was a hell of a performance by T-City.